Good afternoon and welcome to EliteHealthOnline.com. Today we have special guest with us, Sadia. Sadia, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much, Clay.
Sadia is from Texas Star Pharmacy, where we partner to get our patients their medications within 72 hours of their consultation. So if you're not a patient with us, please log on to EliteHealthOnline.com, click on book telehealth appointment. All consultations are free. Medications are sent out discreetly within 72 hours to your doorstep. So if you're into wellness and anti-aging, hormone replacement therapy, weight loss, we're here to help you get on your way with that journey. So let's talk about today's subject. Again, our topic today is DHEA, and none of this is meant to diagnose or treat any conditions. This is just educational only. We have an expert here from Texas Star to talk about this. If you've seen Sadia before, you know how amazing she is and her podcast and her educational abilities. Sadia, talk to us today about DHEA. I know this is a very popular product, very important product for men and women in their wellness and anti-aging journey. And we have two products that Elite Health Online is offering: DHEA with Pregnenolone, which is a capsule taken daily, and then DHEA with Vitamin A. That's an injectable IM once per week. Talk to us about these two products. What's the difference? Pros and cons, who's it for, who's it not for, that sort of thing.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your kind words here. Our job is to educate the patient, to the best of our abilities. So first one, let's do DHEA and Pregnenolone. So before we even start this, I just want to mention very important thing here. The DHEA and Pregnenolone comes as an OTC. And it's very critical that the patient should not go the route of self-diagnosis and start using those OTC products because they are, especially pregnenolone is a grandmother hormone. In the steroidogenic pathway, cholesterol being the main molecule is the first hormone it produces is the pregnenolone. And then from pregnenolone, it goes towards progesterone, and then, of course, cortisol, then DHEA on the other side, and then DHEA makes more, testosterone, and then testosterone to estrogen. So this is a whole cycle. But if some patients feel and they read about it over the internet or something, and they say, hey, pregnenolone is going to be great for my energy and my bone density and all of this, let me start it. What happens is, because of, again, through this steroidogenic pathway, it just changes the entire rhythm of how your body should be making those hormones. And then patients end up having a lot of side effects due to the improper synthesis of sub-hormonal products that comes from that grandmother hormone. So seeing a healthcare practitioner such as Elite Health, and then figuring out that they are the great practitioners there, they know what works and whatnot, and who is the best candidate. So just want to make sure whether it's pregnenolone and DHEA, it comes OTC, probably very cheap, but it's not the right product.
Well, not only that, it's coming very cheap. We often don't know if we're getting what's actually in the bottle because the supplement nutrition is not regulated. Not to say that there's not good brands, but when you're coming through Elite Health Online and you're getting this from a prescription, and then we're getting that sent by a US-based FDA-approved pharmacy, it's guaranteed to have what it says in it, the amounts and the content and the sterility. You guys are all
100%. Absolutely. That's so important. Now going back to the combination DHEA more specifically, it balances cortisol. We always have to remember that cortisol is a catabolic hormone. It causes all the wear and tear versus DHEA is responsible for heal and recovery. So being an anabolic, it has to do a lot with improving bone mineral density, neurocognitive functionality, producing the right amount of testosterone that body needs, and also improving cardiovascular health, sexual health, and also at the same time improving the overall lean body mass, the composition. It requires getting the right BMI within the right margins for the overall distribution. So from head to toe, DHEA has a number of functions, and
Right.
most important of all is definitely its conversion related to the testosterone and enzymatic conversion into estrogen.
Sadia, can you talk just a second about, I mean, cortisol is a negative hormone, right? In most senses, it's something that's tough to control with stress, but it
Yes.
actually counters a lot of what people are doing to stay healthy, and it's
Yes.
very tough to control. Can you elaborate a little
Right.
bit more on how DHEA helps control cortisol
Yes,
production?
absolutely, absolutely. So basically, cortisol is it's the one definitely that causes the inflammatory cycle to
Hmm.
initiate. And we all know, in order for having the recovery and healing process, some inflammation is
It's good. All
essential.
right.
It's critical. If there is no inflammation, there will be no healing and recovery, right?
Right.
So, but when what happens is, because of stressors or excessive challenges, and most importantly, overeating
Hmm.
and not good for the quality of food intake, all can improve cortisol to the point that it's caused all the detrimental effects. And DHEA being basically balancing, right? The more cortisol you have, the less DHEA your body
Hmm.
will be producing, because it's both are coming from the pregnenolone side. So again, if I'm very stressed, if I'm not eating healthy, if I'm not taking care of myself, my body will convert pregnenolone into more cortisol. But if I am on the right track, I'm working out, I'm doing meditation, I'm trying whatever is best to control my
Hmm.
stress, then I am more targeting the enzymatic activity for pregnenolone to make more DHEA. But if the body is not able to figure this out on its own, that's where the healthcare practitioners come into place, and they prescribe the right dose for directing the right pathway to know where they need more help. So,
I just wanted to ask quickly about the inflammation. We know a little bit of inflammation in a injured area is good because it's bringing cytokines and bringing healing
yes,
to the joint or to the area of where it needs healing. But brain inflammation is not good. We know that
absolutely.
that leads to problems. Or with this DHA product here, are we controlling brain inflammation as well?
Absolutely. Pregnenolone, more specifically, there are two places where pregnenolone actually gets synthesized, one in adrenal and the
Hmm.
second one in the brain cells,
Okay.
where it actually works as a neuroprotective agent. It's basically very common, suppresses inflammation. And more specifically, these days, whenever we have bad, stressors or lifestyle or
Hmm.
food is not good, the number one inflammation happens that cascades to all the other areas for inflammation is the gut. It's
Hmm.
called gut on fire equals to the brain on fire.
Hmm.
Gut inflammation leads to brain inflammation.
Right.
This is very important, that if we know we have any type of GI related issues or inflammation, when we are taking care of our gut, we have to do things to support our
Hmm.
suppress our brain inflammation. So pregnenolone in that case is a great, and in fact
Right.
there are multiple practitioners throughout the United States who use pregnenolone to treat, anecdotally, patients with ADHD, schizophrenia, bipolar. These are all the conditions that are associated with the excessive brain inflammation, which is glial cell activation.
Right.
When they notice that there's more cytokines are getting produced or getting migrated to the brain, resulting in the worsening of the symptoms, whether it's depression or it's a
Hmm.
bipolar or it's a schizophrenia, or in kids more specifically ADHD. So pregnenolone, along with or without DHEA, has a great calming
Hmm.
benefits in the brain. So
Yep.
absolutely.
So for the normal patient, let's just say a guy like me in their late 40s, um, busy work schedule, life is hectic, needs to be sharp and on their toes. Women who are in the same situation, they're on a wellness and anti-aging journey. This product is going to help stay off that typical brain fog that we all feel like we experience at times, or as we age, we just can't recall, or we're
Right.
not as sharp as we used to be. Everyone wants to remain sharp as a tack and on point. This is a great product for that, to not only wait till you have the disease or you start to notice a declining mental capacity, but to stay on it now.
Yes, absolutely. More from the prevention point of view,
Right.
yes, I would totally agree. As long as the prescriber knows what
Right.
the conditions are. The only thing females with the PCOS condition is something that we don't recommend this particular combination. Just because, if they are making already more testosterone or androgenic hormone, then they just have to stay away. But of course, it is at the discretion of between the
Right.
patient and their
And
health.
dosed appropriately. Right.
Yes,
And then
dose.
monitored. Yeah.
Yes,
Excellent.
absolutely. Now, this is for, and again, pregnenolone and DHEA balance is the key. So if it's given and taken appropriately, then absolutely there is no issue. Now, the
Is this something
second,
they need to just quickly? Is this something that needs to be cycled, or is this something that once the practitioner determines is a need that you would consider staying on?
yeah, I mean, they can consider to stay on if they feel like it's maintaining the levels to a certain level. For example, typically male patients, you do want the DHEA to be like around, 150. DHEAS is typically the sulfate
Right.
DHEA, let's say around 200. And for female, you want it like around less than 100. So for male, as long as it's between 200 to 250, it's a perfect number.
Okay.
And by using this capsule, let's say once a day, if the number is staying around there, and it varies from one lab to another, whatever is, if it's a lab appropriate or optimal number, you're able to see with this combination, you do not need to stop it because that means your body needs it.
Right.
And then there comes another question. Just don't think cholesterol is bad. I always tell patients
I
that
understand.
is important because if there is no cholesterol or
There's
less
no
than
brain
200
function.
cholesterol, we're going to stop making our all adrenal hormones, which are all adrenal hormones are the number one in fighting against stress.
Right.
So if we are using good B vitamin complex, we're using magnesium, we are using these type of hormonal support system, then we should be able to fight any type of stressor coming our way.
That's excellent information. That's very true.
Yes. So the second formulation that you mentioned earlier is a combination of DHEA along with the vitamin A and Anestrozole. So this is also, let's say, to support, let's say, patients who are on testosterone and they are trying to add something else to support their endogenous testosterone production, to provide something that will continue to enhance and have more availability from the body's natural ability. So DHEA, yes, very important. Typically speaking, a healthy adult male typically produces about 7 milligrams of testosterone in an entire day. Women produces 0.25 to 0.5 milligram. So that's a huge difference. So male produces, whatever the percentage comes out to be more, right? So now let's think about that 7 milligram of testosterone is not all at once. It's very pulsatile throughout the day. Majority of it gets released in the morning when the patients are waking up. They are healthy. They're active. They have a lot of energy to get through the day. And then as throughout the day goes, by the time evening comes, so it's a very pulsatile release.
Sure.
It depends on their circadian rhythm. If they are, not night shift workers or so it changes accordingly. But going back to the fact that it is very important that keeping in mind that testosterone body does not produce all at once. It is a very natural, rhythmic, pulsatile manner, and it's only 7 milligrams a day. Now, using DHEA, we have to think about when you use an injectable that has a DHEA and which it itself is converting into testosterone peripherally, where it is needed in the muscle, in a lot of other areas, because what is made in the lytic cells is important. It's getting transported to the serum as well, but there is a filtration system that is controlling it.
Correct.
Now here you're injecting that either, this particular combination, yes, in the plasma, DHEA is converting into testosterone. And
Mm-hmm.
also, in addition, DHEA has its own benefit of supporting and neutralizing the cortisol that is found in the system, in the body.
Right.
It's helping with, redirecting all other pathways that are responsible for all the other anti-aging benefits, including cardiovascular benefits, metabolic
Mm-hmm.
benefits, and even controlling insulin secretion and
Right.
release. So all that benefits is from one injection. Now we do have Anestrozole in it, and the purpose of it to suppress the localized conversion of DHEA and testosterone
Right.
into additional estrogen.
But this is a small amount of
Very
anastrozole here.
small, yes. It's
Right.
a very small dose. And also we need to think about, like, if, let's say, if somebody is injecting it in the muscle,
Mm-hmm.
it's good. But there are some patients who inject in the subcutaneous fat area. So
Mm-hmm.
anytime any testosterone injection added or injected in the subcutaneous fats typically have aromatase enzyme. And so what happens is it starts changing or acting on that testosterone to make more estrogen. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why it's very important that for male patients to inject testosterone more into the muscle than the subcutaneous, because again, subcutaneous fats have more aromatase enzyme activity. So you need some type of suppressor. So adding a small amount of anastrozole helps
offset that. Right.
offset
Excellent.
that, exactly. And the third most important ingredient is vitamin A. Vitamin A, and again, how we think here at Texas Star is like all whole body approach, right?
Mm-hmm.
Every formula we put together, we try to keep in mind that yes, it's going to help the patient with the desired pathway, but at the same time, it's helping their body continue to detox so they are not holding on to a lot of metabolic products that are synthesizing. So this is where vitamin A role comes up.
Mm-hmm.
Vitamin A typically is not really something that people know or talk about a lot, other than related to vision.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
Then vitamin A comes saying, "Oh, it's vision therapy." There is no such thing. Here, vitamin A is VD. It's called VAD. Vitamin A receptors are found in lytic cells. So, and these are the receptors when they get stimulated or occupied by vitamin A, it provides the cell proliferation and turnover to synthesize and make more mature and healthy cells for lytic cell synthesis. Now, again, it's a side topic, but it's very important that one of the very well-known toxin called phthalates, it's in the pesticides and it's a lot of other, plastic containing products. These phthalates actually are known as death inducer cells for
Wow.
lytic cells. They are death inducer. They literally deteriorate lytic cells. So, and there is an organization called NHANES, and they have selected millions of people's urine sample to see how much phthalates is found. You would be surprised. And it's a study out there. It's PubMed. Everybody has it. It's 97% of those who were sampled, they had higher levels of phthalates. So now, as we are knowing and finding out, a lot of young people are having low testosterone. It's because if the powerhouse cell production area, which is lytic cell, is getting affected and the cells are not maturing and dying prematurely, of course, their ability to make more testosterone would be reduced dramatically. And as a consequence, all the other problems.
That explains a lot.
Yes. So we have very thoughtfully put together this.
Does this kind of come back to, not to change subjects, but we know that 100 years ago, men had much higher testosterone levels than they do today at the same age.
Exactly.
So if we took our average 50, 60-year-old, maybe even 40-year-old, 100 years ago had a completely different testosterone level than today's epidemic that we're seeing with low testosterone.
Right.
This could be a huge cause of that.
Exactly. Absolutely. Environmental toxin, whether it's BPA, BPS, whatever the new names they are giving, phthalates, dioxins, they are actually responsible for a lot of metabolic conditions that happens, including diabetes and others.
Wow.
So, and again, like vitamin A, that's the purpose, because it's called lytic cell rejuvenator. Just like we
That's
have
awesome.
CMA complex in the clomiphene,
Mm-hmm.
orally, that's the same thing that we are providing. And the reason this complex is very effective given, in the injectable form, because it's a very hydrophobic or lipophilic molecule. It
Mm-hmm.
absorbs better in the muscles and gets through the cells in the systematic way where it is needed, versus oral, its bioavailability is pretty low. So we have more specifically put it in this combination.
That's really awesome. Well, Sadia, thank you for being with us today. This is amazing information.
Sure.
Again, another home run here with this product, along with all the products that you guys have created for us. Folks, if you're on the health and wellness journey, if you're on the anti-aging journey, you're looking to improve your health and wellness, control weight loss, hormone replacement therapy, Elite Health Online is here to help you. Just simply go to elitehealthonline.com, click on book telehealth appointment. You'll meet with one of our providers, and medication will arrive at your door discreetly within 48 to 72 hours. And any questions you have, anything you need, you can always go back online and visit with our providers. We also have an excellent pharmacy partner at Texas Star to answer any questions that you may have. While we're all located here in Texas, we are treating patients across the United States. So this remote world we live in now, we can take care of patients anywhere and everywhere. So, Sadia, again, thank you for being here. Excellent information, and I'm sure our patients look forward to reaching out to you with questions, and your staff are always so helpful. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right, take care.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.